Creating my own unique artistic voice has allowed me to generate several $million in sales of my art, and it's given me a lifestyle beyond my wildest dreams. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you a systematic process that you can use on your search to find your own unique voice, where you love the process, you love the finished work, and a significant amount of the public loves your work. Now, when I talk about love, I do mean love, not likes your work. To be successful, you need to be consistently creating work that stops people in their tracks. It takes their breath away. It provokes reactions like, oh my God, I love it, I have to have it. It inspires that biblical emotion of coveting. If you can create work with a unique voice that does this, making a very good living as an artist is relatively easy. Until or unless you can do that, it's virtually impossible. So until you are consistently creating art that has this impact, you have an art problem. And one thing I can guarantee you is that no amount of business solutions or strategies can fix an art problem. Now, just before I go any further, I just ask that if you find the content that I put out there helpful, you could do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. And if you are interested in potentially working more closely with me on your artistic journey, you really need to watch this video to the end. So, how do we create great work with a unique voice, where we love the process, we love the work, and the public loves the work? Well, first of all, you need to understand something about the art world, and that is there is no one unified art world. It's instead made up of a bunch of tiny little art villages, each with its own set of standards and rules. And the two most important villages to understand for what I'm talking about are the village of commercial sales and the village of publicly funded galleries and universities where postmodernism dominates. Now, what you have to understand here is that what's valued in one village is often despised or laughed at in the other village. In the village where I live, the village of commercial sales, artists sell their work to clients through commercial art galleries, art festivals, or directly to clients who intend to hang the art in their homes or business. Now, artists get paid in this village when their work sells. And what is important here is how the painting impacts the viewer, how it makes them feel. And in this village, traditionally, clients value things like skill, expertise, knowledge, competence, and creativity. Basically, all of the things that have been traditionally valued in art since the Enlightenment. Now, let's look at the other village. In the village of publicly funded galleries and universities, where the theories of postmodernism dominate, the work is mostly created for the purpose of public display. There's often no intent to sell the work, and artists are usually paid through government grants. Things like skill, expertise, knowledge, competence are not only not valued, but they're seen as evil tools of the oppressor class, and they should be avoided at all costs. What is paramount here is not what the viewer feels, but what the artist was feeling or what their concept was when they were creating their work. And that should ideally be critical of Western society. Now, these two villages are constantly at each other's throats over what is great art, and they have diametrically opposing views. They're pretty much like different religions. You just can't argue the validity of one over the other. You just have to pick a village. So assuming you want to succeed in the village of commercial sales, the village where I live, the first thing that you need to do is you need to master all of the skills and concepts. And by skills, I mean things like drawing, brushwork, and various painting techniques. And for concepts, I'm talking about color theory, composition, light and shadow, perspective, reflections, atmospheric perspective, positive and negative shapes, and on and on and on. And then once you've done that, then it's time to begin searching for your own unique voice. Well, how do we go about doing that? Well, you could just randomly push paint around in your studio for years and years and years, hoping that genius will just one day magically descend upon you, or you can do what I did, and that is seek out influences. Search for artists whose work you love, and then learn their processes and techniques. But don't just pick one influence. choose many different artists of very different stylistic approaches, subjects, and mediums. And each time you study a particular artist, you'll be accumulating new skills and concepts that you can just add to your artistic tool belt. Now, while doing this, you also need to pay attention to a couple things. How much do you love a particular process of painting, and how much do you love the result? And then, from time to time, you need to go into your studio, not with the intent of painting in the style or process of any of your influencers, but just approaching a subject that you want to paint, but doing so in a way that combines a number of the concepts, processes, and techniques that you've learned from this wide variety of influences, and you put them all together in your own unique way. Now, this is known as process mode. This is where breakthroughs occur, but this is also where a lot of failures occur. And that's okay. If you don't understand that failures are supposed to occur, then when they happen, you're going to become frustrated and you're going to scurry back to your comfort zone. And nobody ever had a breakthrough in their comfort zone. So it's essential that when painting in process mode, the very first thing that you do is give permission for the painting to fail. Now, while doing this, you need to try a wide variety of different processes, subjects, and stylistic approaches here. While you're painting in this mode, you want to be continually monitoring how much you love the process, how much you love the finished work, and what is the public's reaction to the work. You then start focusing on the things that score very highly in these three variables, and then you just see where that leads. As Frank Webb said, we all start out digging little holes all over the backyard, searching for buried treasure, but every once in a while, we need to pick one spot and dig deep. But that's not the same as planting a flag, committed to dying on that hill and saying, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. You continually need to gauge yours and the public's reaction to the work. And the good news here is that if you've mastered all of the technical skills and concepts prior to this stage, most of the work that you produce will still be good, and you'll still be able to sell the majority of the paintings you create. But if you haven't mastered the skills and concepts, and you're just trying all these different things, your work is very likely only going to highlight these weaknesses, and you'll very likely be creating uniquely bad paintings that people would not be interested in at any price. And that's why it's so important to master the skills and the concepts first. But if you're creating works that have a great composition, and they exhibit mastery of skills and concepts, you'll likely be creating work that will still be more appealing than most of your competition who hasn't achieved this level of skill yet. Now, while I was in this stage and my work was all over the map, I was still selling most of my paintings. They just weren't flying off the walls like my current work does. Now, pay attention here, because this is a place where I see a lot of artists making a crucial error. They reach a point where they're creating work where they love the process, they love the work, but the public just kind of likes the work, and they stop there. If you want to have a very successful career, you need to consistently create work where a significant amount of the public, capital L, loves your work. If that doesn't happen, if they just like the work, then it's back to the studio, seeking out more influences, spending more time in process until you are getting that capital L love in all three categories, where you love the process, you love the work, and the public loves the work. Once you've achieved this, you've solved the art problem. Making a decent living, once you've accomplished this, should be relatively easy. Now, there are a number of business strategies and solutions that can help you scale your earnings into six figures and even multiple six figures. But you have to have solved the art problem first. So, if you dream of a life where you get to go into your studio every day and follow your passion, and you make a great living from doing that, just know that it is possible. And I believe that if you commit to this process, you can achieve whatever level of success you aspire to, just as I have done, and just as a number of my students have done. Now, many of you already know that after 2019, when I had some very serious health concerns and actually almost died a couple times, I had a major epiphany. And I decided that if I got healthy again, I was going to shift my focus from creating and selling my paintings to sharing what I've learned with other aspiring artists. Now, fortunately, I did fully recover, and in 2020, I launched the Tim Packer Art Academy online. So far, I've had several thousand satisfied students take my courses, and we've had some amazing success stories. One of my very first students, Emily Valentine, experienced complete sellouts in her first 3 art festivals. She's gone on to win major awards at several international shows. Another one of my students, Cheryl Ann Hills, experienced more sales in her first 4 months of joining the Academy than she had in the previous 4 years. And another one of my students, Amy Adams, just won 2nd place in the Still Life category of the Artist Magazine's Artist to Watch category. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story of Brooke Cormier, the young artist that I mentored back in 2017, who was able to earn $30,000 in her very first year of pursuing an art career. So if you're interested in furthering your art career and you're looking for more formal instruction by me that'll help you master the skills and concepts while creating a detailed plan to achieve your own unique voice, I encourage you to click on the link in the description to learn more about my Unstoppable Artist program. For just $199, you're going to get access to over $900 worth of courses, as well as 1 live group Q&A call with me, where I'll answer any of your questions about art or the business of being an artist. These are all lifetime courses, no expiration date. You can watch them at your own pace. You can re-watch them as often as you like. And it also comes with a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Now, membership in the Unstoppable Artist program also entitles you to a $200 discount if at any time in the future you decide to join my Hungry Artist community. And here's where I host weekly Q&A calls to answer questions and critiques. Members get lifetime access of all of the courses that I eventually create, and I provide the opportunity for one-on-one mentoring. So if you dream of a life as a successful artist, but just don't know where to turn, I really encourage you to click on the link in the description to see how I can help you get there.